Welcome back, everybody, to The Creative Moment, Season 11, Episode 7. Dante Bullhauer, Jamie Bullhauer, your hosts for all 107 episodes. And, we talk all things creativity on this podcast. Some business stuff, I guess. Just kind of the creative industry in general. I'm a photographer. He's a writer. Let's go ahead and jump right in.
We got the microphone back because I remembered.
Not a bad crack for the mic being back. Okay, today we are talking about the reflecting pool at the White House. Just kidding. We're talking with America having their 250th birthday. There's big celebratory stuff. My golf course has flags that say America 250 now on the pins, whatever.
There's fruit snacks that are American,
Well, we're in a celebrating mood come the week of the 4th. So we thought we would talk about just kind of celebrating your creative achievements, just kind of maybe cool stuff that we made. That we're just talking celebration and what that means and does for a creative. Because sometimes we can just get caught in not looking back or reflecting on our stuff and not having that gratitude towards what we have accomplished.
Yeah, because especially, there's enough in both the creative world and just general life to kind of start a negative loop about stuff. So, just, We have
a huge live audience.
The
biggest
live
ever.
audience. Yeah.
So, apologies on that. But the first thing I thought of when you sent me that text was the quote that I've used a million times from Peter McKinnon of wherever you're at now, you probably couldn't have even imagined being here even just a year before.
Yeah.
And there are so many, when you actually sit down and look back on a year or a month or whatever, where you've just been going, and you look back, there are a lot of milestones that you can point out that maybe you did not take the time to celebrate accordingly or to give that moment its worth or value. I have several of them, and it feels like I didn't celebrate them at all because I'm like, no, on to the next thing, and I don't know. I have a hard time doing that, except basically when the new year hits. I do not really look at my milestones and think, wow, that was really cool that I got to do that, or that was a really cool job that I landed, or whatever. So I am pretty bad at it, but when I do take the time and actually just say, wow, that was really cool that I made this much money, or I got to shoot for this person, or I got to make all these cool things, it is a very fulfilling and eye-opening emotion.
Yeah.
Because you look back and you're like, oh, I just created this and moved on to the next. I'm like, actually, these are really cool.
And even if you don't like the airports, all the places you've traveled and, all, people want you on the, I know Dallas wasn't as big of a trip. It was only a couple days in that case. But, you get to do things that other people just don't get to do.
Well, yeah, I'm sitting in my hotel room in Dallas. I'm like, Dallas sucks. I'm like, how many? I think there's a stat of 12% of people never leave their zip code ever.
Yeah.
Where I think probably a lot of it's New York City or insane, whatever. But never get to experience. And I'm complaining about
how hot it was.
Well, it was hot. It was really humid. But I'm like, how many people get to have these experiences of working for a big company just for they trust my creative, they trust me, they want me to shoot this, and Toro's a huge company or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just, that is something that I should celebrate more, and I end up just complaining about it a lot. So I need to be better at celebrating stuff like that, because that is not a chance to work for a big company and have them just kind of, yep, whatever you get, cool, we love it.
Yeah,
that's not an experience a lot of people get to have in the creative world.
And sometimes it's a celebration of and being reflective of the small things, because it is a job. I mean, it is still a job for you, but it does give you like the time we did this podcast while you were in Florida. It just And that's something like this. I haven't really done too many blog posts in the last couple of months, but it's something I kind of check in, or I'll send out, hey, and I every day for almost 2 years now, somebody has read one of my blog posts. I've never had a day where my blog hasn't been hit, and it's kind of interesting. There's certain times because WordPress shows you, which post is and how many that hit. Towards the end of school year, my post about Robert Frost and and National Honor Society speech, they actually get kind of traction. And lately, my 100,000 word one about writing the 100,000th word in the blog, type of thing. And I don't know why. I don't know why that one's getting, but it's just kind of like, wow, and I go against the norm. I kind of blog on inspiration only, to a degree, not what they say you should do content every, and so it's like, that's kind of cool. Like,
well, and there's just a lot of, like, even just day to day, you can find things to celebrate about your business or whatever. I say this like every 3 months, but I've had the most stressful 3 months of my entire life lately. And I sit back and I think, like, hey, at the end of the day, it was really cool that you got to go to Dallas. It was really cool that you got to go to Hawaii, even if you had to work there. It's really cool that you are pulled in so many different directions because your services are wanted, that you are stressed out. And it's like a weird thing to like flip on its head, but it is gratifying when you can think of it that way, and it helps you also just kind of not be super stressed out all the time, because it's just more of a, okay, it's cool that everybody wants me, but let's keep delivering on, like, let's keep these people wanting my services, like, so celebrate it and then use it. It helps me use it to not just feel I get frozen by just the overwhelming nature of it a lot. And if I think about it differently, it helps kind of get moving.
Yeah. And it's also kind of against the norm. Like, there's an underlining vibe that you should, especially in the creative world, suffer. And we've actually talked about the joy of older podcasts, but it is actually okay, and actually helps, like you had mentioned about the mental aspect, just the attitude a little bit, to be proud, to celebrate, those things that you get to do. I have, I kind of, as on X, formerly known as Twitter, I sometimes do talk about how hard it is with all the rejections for lit magazines and, and stuff. But then on the other side, though, I have a couple of places that seem to appreciate my work, and even though I don't get accepted all the time, I still, I have a community there, and a lot of, Gleam, the last issue 10 with them, there's this one isn't as, it's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see that, but with their journal, I've 4 times, and they're very specific. They do the catalog. It's a new poetic form, and so you have to it's actually really a good challenge. I love the challenge, and I'm in there. I got rejected last time, and I kind of was like, yeah, I kind of knew it, but still to celebrate, who knows who reads that poem from issue 4? You don't know, and we talked about that too before, and so it's all right to actually celebrate those things, instead of always embracing the suffering artist kind of mentality.
So, I have kind of a question here, but so my Hawaii video flopped because apparently Instagram Reels over 3 minutes don't get shared to anybody not following you.
Yeah.
Which sucks, whatever.
the algorithm strikes again.
Wow,
in a
that
different
video
way.
is cool. What
It is cool. Hawaii tourism. Check it out.
Check it out. Whatever. It's fine. And like I feel like sometimes we don't celebrate ourselves because we're not celebrated. Do you think there is a, I don't know if responsibility is the right word, but for other creatives to celebrate those achievements? Because I mean, everybody posts all their achievements, whatever. I do the same thing. Do creatives have kind of a responsibility to keep other creatives going and celebrate them? Say, hey, that's really cool that you got accepted into this lit magazine or whatever, or hey, this is a really cool video, it's really cool that you got to do. Is that something other creatives should?
I think only if there are a strong connection in your community. Like, especially our social media and some stuff like that, it is so diluted. Like, that alone just trying to would
It takes time, and I don't do near enough of a good job of celebrating other people, but
I try to make sure because I actually haven't been on social media very much lately either. That's another not odd thing. I'm just and so when I see a colleague or somebody I would consider a close person in community, I'd read their poem and then like comment or retweet or somebody so recently, as an example, I have 5 poems in a book, Haiku for Soulmates. It's kind of a series that is produced anyway within this community, and it actually is got into the Japanese Haiku Museum. I might be off on that exactly, but it's kind of the first American book to be saved or archived for the haiku, but within that community we celebrate, just like, because we're kind of a group and stuff, and so making sure to retweet or talk about that or stuff, I think it is important, not just because I have 5 poems in it, but it is because we're, it's kind of a cool thing to have American, and it's not all American, but is for, I think the home publishing is in America, so therefore type of thing. And so, I think I actually have a responsibility to do that because I'm actually a part of it, even though I've never actually been like, hey, read my poem. I'm saying? I'm more like, hey, check out Haiku for Soulmates, and do that and not do the self promotion with it, which that's kind of sits bad with me.
It's weird. So like my Hawaii video flops, but I posted just a stupid little postcard of me being done with my first 3-year contract with the NSA or whatever. I was just like, oh, cool, it'd be cool to just do this weird transition thing. I have been trying to do video postcards on everywhere I'm at. Like, Scottsbluff's far enough, I can, whatever.
Yeah.
That got way more play than my Hawaii video, and it feels like, because people, and there wasn't even, I don't think that many like comments on it, like congrats or whatever, and that's not why I posted. I just wanted to post video, whatever. But I feel like we rally around achievements in life, just as society, and then we kind of fail to continue. We can do it in spurts. Oh, hey, cool, he just finished his contract, whatever. Then nobody likes my Hawaii video. Nobody likes my photos. And I feel like we kind of want to celebrate, but also, like you said, it does take a lot of time to celebrate others. And there is an importance in, like, I was really gratified in that moment because I'm like, I just did this whole contract 98% by myself, basically. Yeah. Or like, I would say 100%, whatever. And if we, like, every once in a while you can post your achievements on social media and you'll feel that gratification from people saying congrats or whatever. Yeah. But it's a lot more important to do that yourself and realize that, or to have a community that you can rely on more often than just the general public. Because like the YMCA thing, I was really proud of for 5 seconds, but that was really cool, and nobody of my clients in that cared. But like you cared, KK cared, like that was really cool, and that was easy for me to celebrate myself in that moment. But it's not always easy. But that's why it's important to have that perspective when you're doing cool things, even if they're stressful. Like this is cool for me. This is something worth celebrating.
Yeah, and the general public, that's an interesting component, especially in our time of the way we share works and the way we handle things. Like in my case for poetry, lit magazines are a gateway, but to a degree, things like Instagram and X and stuff, that's not enough space. In your case for the Hawaii video, like the rules, the algorithm and stuff like that is not allowing it to get out to where people that we don't know or that might be interested, in your case, clients, and just in my case, fans or stuff like that. And so the general public is actually really, really hard to tap into, and then to say, oh, feel a little bit of that celebration because where it went, the reach that it had. So we almost have to make sure that we celebrate, or that we have built a strong community that helps with that. And again, I've already mentioned that earlier. I lost one of my strongest communities with the Jam ending their run. And it still sucks. It actually, because there's in a sense, there's like, I knew that we'd get some conversation. I wrote this poem. There was that small celebration that you knew was kind of coming because people would talk, and you would get to hear other people, and you had that community. And that even that reaction, even if you get to the general public, isn't the same. You get the thumbs up or it's still a shot of celebration, but it is not.
Well, like, so when someone shares a video or a photo on their story and doesn't say anything, it's like, okay, thought it was cool, but like, is there anything more there? I mean, is it like, wow, super cool video? It's just like, oh, repost, yeah, okay, that's whatever. I have one creative friend that I talk to every day, and I feel like we do a pretty good job of celebrating each other or whatever. But otherwise, like, I don't really have like a community to tap into like that, where there's no value proposition. It's just, hey, I did something cool. Hey, I did something cool. Like even I'm part of a Facebook group, Nebraska Through the Lens or whatever.
Yeah.
That can be kind of celebratory, but then also there's a bunch of old guys that just want to tell you how to fix your settings all the time, and it's kind of annoying. So it's like I don't really have a space other than my friend to like celebrate that creativity. And sometimes it just becomes kind of like when my Hawaii video doesn't do well, it's harder to celebrate that because you, like we've talked about countless times, you post stuff for people to see. You make stuff for people to see and just have an emotion, hopefully, when they see it. And I feel like sometimes when my stuff doesn't do well, it's harder to celebrate that and feel good about it. That was
well, and so ironically, just to point out how connecting the community, which is kind of where we tangent off of, but to allow to celebrate, I just read this book, A Hobbit, A Wardrobe, and A Great War, how J.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis built a bond as writers, but they actually talk within there, both in school and out of school. They had a group of writers that came together, and the one that was in high school, basically, or stuff, they lost some of them in the war, but this book was to a degree how they celebrated each other, but also helped each other produce all of their works. And J.R. Tolkien actually says if it wasn't for C.S. Lewis, The Lord of the Rings may never have been written. But he kept... It's like, you need to finish it. You need to do that. You need to encourage. You need to celebrate, and stuff like that. And so... a strong community is one of the areas that you can authentically celebrate, I think. You can just actually celebrate in people, the general public. I don't know.
It's a crapshoot, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what we can take out of this, having a little community, whether it's one person, a ton of people, family, friend, whoever, to kind of bring you back from just the weeds of everyday hamster wheel churn out stuff, basically, that can help bring you back and can also help you just continue the creativity and like have a little jolt of inspiration or jolt of motivation to keep going and keep creating stuff. Because when your stuff just isn't celebrated, it does just feel like, what am I doing this for? I don't enjoy any part of this creative stuff because... And yeah, we do search for other people
validation.
To, yeah.
Like, celebration is also a little bit of that. That every writer wants to be read. Every filmmaker within that part, however scary it is, we do want that's to a degree why we write. Now, it's not the only reason we produce, because there is a joy in that with that, but it's
one of the main ones.
Yeah, it is. That's why we produce this stuff, because we want it to be celebrated to a degree by people, and it's not 100% validation of who we are, but it is validation.
Yeah. Well, with that, that is our season 11, episode 7 episode of The Creative Moment. If you're new here, we have a plethora of episodes for you to go check out on a ton of different topics. We have a bunch of great guests that we've interviewed over the season, so check those out as well and see just kind of some other creatives and their line of work and what inspires them. So with that, thank you as always for either watching or listening on YouTube, Spotify, all the platforms, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks.